Hi everyone. So this is a continuation of Unit 5. We're on topic 2, appreciating the Philippine Indigenous art. So I hope you're all safe and sana ginagawa niyo na yun yung project. So ayun, stay safe and aral lang ng aral. Okay, so at the end of this topic, you'll be able to aim familiarity on the different indigenous art forms, materials, and sources in the country, create written outputs highlighting the characteristics and uses of the indigenous artworks from the locality, and show appreciation of the indigenous art of the Filipinos by creating artworks using the designs or motifs of the Filipino indigenous art. So, ang tanong ngayon, what are the indigenous arts na practice pa sa locality natin today? So, most of which naman ay napapractice naman natin, nag-evolve lang. Since we have new technologies, we have new ways of creating it na mas napapadali, mas nag-evolve. Still practice pa rin naman yung mga i-discuss natin. So, ang uses niya, sabi nga dito, what are the uses of these indigenous arts in the community? Since time immemorial, it served its purpose up to now. Whether it be anesthetic or for utilitarian purposes, it served its purpose up to now. So when we say indigenous, ano bang ibig sabihin ng indigenous? Indigenous is something that is innate, inborn sa lugar na yon. Doon siya nag-originate. So uh, doon siya nag-materialize. So doon siya nagmula. Yun yung originality ng lugar niya. So for example, in our place, um, since time immemorial, yung carving na yan, pottery, it exists na in our country, and we have our own style. So that is one meaning of indigenous. It is something that has evolved in its own area. So when we say indigenous people naman, yun yung mga tao na nag-originate na dun sa lugar na yon. Okay? So it's different from the yung export, yung galing sa ibang bansa. Hindi ganon. Ang ibig sabihin ng indigenous, something that is inborn, innate, and something that is original in that certain place. So, sabi dito, uh, the Philippines' unique topography and diverse cultural environment has created and has resulted into cultural heterogeneity. So, ibig sabihin, we have diverse culture dahil starting from our climate from wet to dry, and our location, we have sitio, barrio, poblacion, and cities, and our topography in the Philippines, we have mountains, plains, riverbanks, and coast. So, ang daming nag-originate sa areas na yan. So, iba ang nag-originate from that certain climate, 'di ba? Iba ang products ng mga tao when that place is cold. Iba rin ang products ng tao when that place is hot. Ganun sa atin kasi very diverse tayo, and since ang location natin, we have different sitios, barrios, we have our own beliefs, we have our own styles. So kaya nagkaroon ng cultural heterogeneity. Okay? So, sabi nga, ayun, sabi dito, from religion, of various beliefs and sects, membership of cultural groups. So, napakarami sa atin yan. Since tayo sa Pilipinas, sa lengguwahe pa nga lang, we have, I think, um, more or less 1,000 different languages. So that only proves na we have diverse ways, diverse things that we believe on. Yung mga pinapaniwalaan natin. So sabi, Philippine material culture consists of a wide array of utilitarian and ceremonial objects. So, noong unang panahon, most of which talaga utilitarian and for ceremonial, yung mga ginagamit for prayers, yung mga yan. So, to talk to their ancestors, yung mga yan. And utilitarian purposes, dahil unang-una, I'm so sorry for that. Ayun, unang-una sa lahat, gumagawa ka naman talaga ng isang bagay for a purpose and to serve you a purpose. So that's the yun yung mga ano talaga noon. Though meron mga aesthetic for aesthetic purposes, pero noong unang panahon talaga, we have talaga a wide array of utilitarian and ceremonial objects. So, sabi rin, many forms combine aesthetic concerns with utilitarian purposes, including pottery, basketry, mat making, jewelry, metalworks, textile weaving, and carving. So these are the indigenous art of the Filipinos, which are surviving up to this time. This time nga, mas mahal na siya dahil in-export na rin natin sa ibang bansa eh. So, though napapractice, pero minsan kasi it slowly fades dahil we too do hesitate to appreciate it. Hindi hindi na marami sa atin ang nakaka-appreciate ng mga gawa ng mga Pilipino. So, mostly kasi tayo ngayon, we have this practicality and ayun, minsan pag hindi na naman na natin ginagamit yung mga basket kasi we have our own plastic, we choose not to use basket, which is not helping uh, our society preserving our indigenous materials. Though we have our own preferences din kasi on what to use. So, yan, yun kasi yung dahilan bakit medyo namamatay yung ating mga indigenous art. Dahil tayo mismo, minsan we hesitate to buy, and minsan we choose different products over the other. Next, indigenous art are created by people in the community which often uses materials found in the locality. Yun yung nakikita niyo na support local. So, these are art forms that are still created in the community and have survived as industries for the locals. So, up to now naman, especially sa Philippines, especially sa Manila, may mga mayayaman talaga na they invest on, tawag doon, on making businesses like this. Kasi sila lang naman yung may mga kakayahan na mag-open up talaga ng malalaking business to make it well known sa ibang bansa. So, kaya nga rin yung mga ating Miss Universe, yung mga yan, they use that platform to air or to spread awareness din to spread to support local. Okay, so the first one in the indigenous art is pottery. So it is one of the oldest arts of combined design and function. So ang pottery kasi minsan for aesthetic purposes dahil dinedisplay mo siya, it includes design dahil it's unique and it also serves its function. Pwedeng lalagyan ng water, lalagyan ng something. So, a combination of design and function. So, another type of pottery, yung pinakaunang pottery na nakita sa atin sa Pilipinas ay ang burial jar. So, the monunggol jar, it is excavated in Palawan and it is an artwork having its design of two men rowing a boat, expressing the beliefs of Filipinos that spirits of the dead travel to the afterlife, which also expressed in the Filipino expression of sumakabilang buhay. So more of these burial jars were also excavated in Cagayan Valley and other parts of the country. So clay pots for Filipinos have many uses in home and in other daily activities. So clay pots and jars in different shapes and sizes are used for food preparation and storage, while plates and bowls are used for serving food. So, since time immemorial, since nag-start ang pottery, it served its purpose. So, ang unang purpose na nakita nila ay yung burial jar nga. Ginagamit to ilagay yung mga ashes. And yung boat doon is to express the sumakabilang buhay. Next, we have basketry and mat making. So basketry is known to be older than pottery, but since perishable siya. Nasisira kasi ang basket pag hindi mo siya na-preserve ng mabuti, hindi siya sobrang nagtatagal. Kaya yung mga museum, they don't have ample uh, mga pieces na involves basketry. Mostly kasi pottery talaga yung nagtatagal, nagpre-preserve ng matagal. So, basketry is older than pottery, but since nga perishable, most of its artifacts cannot be found in museum displays. So, maraming types of basketry and mat making. So, ang materials niyan, we have bamboo, rattan, pandanus, nito, and other sort of materials in the country. So, this is done in almost all parts of the country. So, mats are used to sleep on and to wrap the dead. So, while baskets of different shapes and sizes are used for activities in the household and in the economic activities of the Philippines. So, this art form has survived even today, and designs, colors, and uses vary from one place to the other. So, maalala ko pa noon nung unang panahon, yung banig namin, nagtagal, sorry. Nagtagal talaga siya ng how many years and hanggang sa give up na lang dahil gutay-gutay na siya. So, it served its purpose ever since. So, I know na some of us also have banigs pa up to now. And that's great, great way of preserving. You know, you will come to realize na, oh, ilang years na pala sa akin to, 20 years na wala, or and so on and so forth. So, that will give us parang that source of happiness din na we are part of the community that preserves our indigenous art. Ayan. Next, we have mat weaving. So, mat weaving, ayan nga, uh, it continues to flourish and create its marks, not only in the country, but in the international market as well. So, sabi ko nga, pinapractice talaga natin siya. Minsan lang kasi, we choose not to buy or we opt not to buy kasi uh, mas gusto na natin yung foam, mas gusto na natin yung ganito. So, we have our own preferences din kasi. And uh, we cannot blame naman na yung iba na to choose this different types. But we must also remember that as much as we can, we need to support our indigenous arts. Next, support local. Next, we have carving. Carving is in tradition that is a long time ago. So it started when our ancestors learned to use small hand tools to engrave and carve details in wood and metal. So the earliest pieces of materials with carving are found in on the boat-shaped coffins in Palawan. So mostly talaga ginagamit siya sa pag burial for the dead, yung mga yan. Doon nila na-practice yung kanilang arts talaga noong unang panahon. So later, carvings were found in gold, wood, ivory, and in the highlands and lowlands of Luzon and Mindanao. Even boats used by our ancestors were decorated with intricate carvings. So carvings has utilitarian, ornamental, and even ritualistic functions in the Philippine society. So, ulitin ko, carvings has utilitarian, ornamental, and ritualistic functions. So, it has three functions. So, pwede ngang sabi nga, utilitarian, it serves purpose, ornamental, aesthetic purposes, dinedisplay mo, and ritualistic, may mga ritual, may ginagamit for prayers, mga yan. So, yun yung carvings, kanyang purpose or kanyang function. So, the carvers of Paete, Laguna carried on this long tradition of wood carving in the country, and they are known for their masterpieces, which include religious icons and others. So this tradition exists today. I'm so sorry. These traditions exist today and displays the skills and love. Bilisan na lang natin talaga dahil nagwawala na yung aking kapitbahay. Hindi, marami kasi construction things dito talaga. Next, we have weaving. So, textile weaving is one of the indigenous arts that Filipinos have grown up with. So we have our malong, our kumot, yung mga yan, tapis, abel, yan, yung mga yan na yung kinalakihan natin. So, I know very self-explanatory man na tapusin na natin dahil hindi na nila maintindihan. Next, the last one is jewelry. So, jewelry is an example of an indigenous art made only for adornment. So, in the Filipino culture, it also reveals that status of the wearer in the community. So, pag marami kang ornaments sa katawan mo, uh, parang it's simply saying na you have a higher status, especially in Mindanao. Uh, Ginagamit yun ng mga datu, yung mga yan, yung mga intricate designs ng mga beads. It symbolizes their high stature in the community. So even warriors and women members of the community create their own jewelry for adornment, which actually symbolizes their activities and accomplishments in the community. So hunters and warriors will use beads, animal bones, and so on and so forth. So that's the end of our Philippine indigenous arts. So very simple lang naman, very self-explanatory. So I hope na this is a reminder for us na uh, as much as we can, if we have the chance naman to appreciate indigenous arts, learn to appreciate it. Dahil sarili nating gawa yon and sariling gawa ng mga kababayan natin yon. Wala namang ibang magsusuportahan, tayo lang din. So, whenever you see someone na naglalakad lang dyan sa gilid, you choose to buy there dahil sila talaga yung nagsis talagang nagsusumikap na tulungan din tayong preserve ang ating culture. So, let us help one another and know na Filipinos have this bayanihan spirit. So, sana we also have this kind of unity when it comes to appreciating our art, our own art. So, ayun. At preserve our art for the next generation, uh, for our future sons, daughters, and sons-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. So, that is for them to have this spirit of indigenous art pa rin. Sana hindi ma-modernize man, sana mag-retain pa rin yung art na yun. So, ayun, I hope you have learned something and yeah, I'll see you sa ating next topic. So, I'll upload it siguro next meeting dahil for sure later mas gugulo pa dito dahil sa mga constructions and all. So, uh, I wish you all the best and please stay safe and rest if you can. If you're tired, rest and just enjoy learning. Ayun. So, have a great day ahead and God bless. Bye!